I'm going to welcome you here. I think it was about 13 years ago that I interviewed you for the first time. And I feel like we were little kids then, almost at the time. It was so long ago. But I want to dive a little bit into the 42-year career that you have had, the unbelievably impressive run that you've had as the CEO, the transition at Powers, the transition of healthcare during that period of time. This could honestly probably go on for hours, but I'll try to keep it tight. When you look back at your years of service, what moments, there's zillions of them, but what moments stand out to you?
Yeah, well, as you recollect, we interviewed together that many years ago, and at that time we were in that huge growth period for St. Mary Medical Center, and certainly at that time part of community healthcare system. That was one of the outstanding moments for me to know that we had the support of the system as really, we created a foundation here in Valparaiso focused on an option for patients. And if we could do service and quality really well, it's going to be a success. But a little bit frightening at the time, right? Saying, "Whoa, we're at a new frontier," but felt we had the appropriate staff, phenomenal community support and physician support. So that was really one outstanding moment that will always be a great memory for me. And as we continue to grow, we've expanded that site now 3 times in 5 years. We're in the middle of another project, so it's still moving forward, which is phenomenal. But I would be really, really remiss thinking back of, the nearly 19 years that I have been the CEO at St. Mary and forgetting our COVID pandemic. That started in as I recollect, March of 2020, and a really frightening time for all of us, right, as it began, and feeling that so many emergency responders and certainly the community really saw the hospitals as the hub on what should we be doing, how do we keep ourselves safe, I need to come to the hospital, is there going to be service? Huge challenges at the time with staffing at the time, but we needed to keep our doors open, but maybe we weren't able to perform all the surgeries that we needed to at the time, knowing personal protective equipment wasn't being manufactured at the pace to keep up with the pandemic. It was a really time of unknown, but really, really proud of St. Mary and the healthcare system. We quickly created vaccine hubs at every site with drive-ups, things we would never imagine we would experience in our lifetime, and really came out the other side. Lots of lessons learned, but also being able to put our bootstraps back on and say, let's keep moving forward. We're here for the community. So that was, wow. Learned a lot, but certainly a very frightening time. And it was for all of us in healthcare.
The way I look back at it is it was like an MBA for everyone in response management, or whatever you want to entitle the challenge, but everybody was thrown a curveball. Nobody had a book, and it was like the whole world. Go out and get your MBA and deal with change management. And you're like, okay, well, we're a beer distributor. Well, you got to deal with this. You're a healthcare provider. You got to deal with this. Law enforcement, education. Everybody. And the folks that were on the front lines, as you described, they dealt with the biggest challenges of that, and they did it with grace, and they did it because they knew it was the right thing to do. And I think that's where you got to feel like, man, are people right when they needed to? They absolutely stepped up and went well beyond what you could have imagined they would do.
Yes, and the emergency was lifted really not until May of 2023. So when you think back, that went on for a solid 3 years of time for all of us. And the risks, meeting with the emergency responders, keeping them educated on what's the appropriate PPE, how do you bring patients to the hospital, how do we protect them, and certainly the physicians is fearful for them and our nurses. You know, they were the ones at the bedside that really needed to step up. So being able to protect them appropriately as we continue to take care of so many patients in a distressing time at the same time for so many members in our communities moving through that. But that is something that I really, really can't forget. And then for me, the other, really just the continued growth and progress and really sustaining a great culture. And that culture is the people. You know, I can call myself the leader in name, I'm the CEO, but really this is about the nurses, the staff that really are engaged for the right reason, to take care of the patients in the community.
Yeah. And through those examples, they show that character.
Oh, absolutely.
Again and again.
Absolutely.
And again.
Yeah, they're just right there. Yeah, it was really applauding everyone as COVID ended, saying, wow, we made it through it. We really did, and successfully.
I went to St. Mary's, I don't know, 2-3 years ago, whatever. I had all kinds of health concerns because I kept on losing a bunch of weight. And it turned out I'm fine. That's the end of the story.
Short and sweet.
Yeah. But long and short of it, I had to go for a series of MRIs that take a long time or whatever. And you're thinking, okay, well, they're figuring out something in my gut. So you're obviously concerned, like, oh, I've lost weight. Is this pancreatic cancer or whatever you get? You, of course, think you've diagnosed yourself with all the diseases at the same time. So long story short, I go to the hospital. I'm a grown man. I'm 60 years old. The woman that welcomes me at the testing reception, says, okay, you're gonna wait here, and then as soon as I'm ready, I'll come and get you. Okay, well, the testing thing is like 30 feet down the hall or something. So when it's time, she comes and gets me, and not holds my hand, but basically just like, hey, come on, I'm gonna get you down here or whatever, and does the testing. And then, again, I'm a grown adult. She could easily say, and I'll hop back off and walk over to the thing, and I'll get you when you need it again. She takes me back and is very kind and says, okay, anything you need, I'm going to grab you again in a few minutes. Comes me back, takes me. And I'm thinking the whole time, as a business person, oh my God, you're not making any money doing this whatsoever. You're just doing all this care for a grown man. It's not like I'm 90 and I'm feeble, or I'm a little kid and I'm scared to bejesus. But the care from her as a human felt really good, and I was super nervous, and it wasn't that I took it all away, but I just felt like, oh, well, I got this lady, she's looking after me, and it felt good to have a lady looking after me.
Oh, that's a great story. Thank you.
That's your people, and that's how they make you feel.
Yeah. Well, it's a high-touch industry, right? This really is about taking care of the community, and I don't underemphasize at all that word care. And like you said, it's not just having a service available, but it's how you feel about that service. So I think the culture at St. Mary really is embedded, and it has a bright future, but really cultivating that over all these years is probably one of my proudest accomplishments, I'd say.
You made sure the garden grew.
Yeah,
when you're thinking about people and culture and care.
Or as the staff would say, we're drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Sometimes that's what it takes. You got to believe when others don't believe. And sometimes that's the Kool-Aid is, we just did 50, or we're about to finish up doing 53 graduations. We have a relatively small team.
Right.
It's crazy ridiculous that we do that many graduations in that small of a period of time. But the point is that we can.
Yes.
And you watched your people during COVID go out and do all of this remote stuff while they were doing all this stuff. And if you would have been asked 6 months ahead of time, could they do both of these things at the same time? You'd say, you need to have your head examined. No way.
You're right. A lot of that remote education, televisits with patients, that we just had to jump in, right? If even telehealth may have been a plan with a longer timeline and goal, and COVID hit, and it's like, we're doing it now. It has to happen.
It's like, get your phone. We're doctors. Now we're going to be on telemedicine. And you got to learn it immediately. How do you see through, tremendous growth, lots of changes within the healthcare industry, and some of those challenges, how does the mission shine through? How does it stay at this larger and larger organization? How does it stay on point?
Yeah, I think, again, going back to it's about the people, it's about who you hire, and it is about that broader vision that for us, we believe in, maintaining technology and good staffing, because the core of the mission is to provide high quality care in the local community and keeping it here and using technology. So what does that technology do? It really helps us recruit the best of skilled physicians. We have a wonderful Powers Health medical group that has grown by leaps and bounds over the last even 3 to 5 years, but it's because of the commitment of St. Mary Medical Center and Powers Health to that initiative. Also, treating all of our staff very well. We have great recruitment tools, many internal education programs, so we're able to recruit onto ourselves, right? They're the building blocks, and really engaging with our staff to understand that we may be multiple buildings, right? Many buildings in the community, but it's not about the building. It's about we're here to service the community. So I think really embedding ourselves in the community and engaging in the community, because that's where we identify the needs.
Yeah.
That feeds our strategy as an organization, that feeds the continuous culture of positive service and quality. And I think that's the legacy of the success of St. Mary and Powers Health.
You talk about development of people and seeing the people that can be grown.
Yes.
Touch on a little bit your own personal story. How'd you get here? You just came right out of CEO school and they said, Janice, here you go. You're a CEO now.
No, I always felt I was afforded at the right place at the right time, just endless opportunities within the healthcare system. So I did begin my career, admittedly back in the 80s, at community hospital in the laboratory as a technologist. And I think they're already fostering in that environment that culture of growing within, meaning really taking staff that were interested in developing their skill set, giving them new opportunities of things to do, and it may be things you've never done before, but you jumped in. So I was an individual who really, to this day, have that little bit in me of the inability to say no, like,
Yeah.
Of course, I'm going to learn something new and let's move forward. At the same time, being in a professional environment that really fostered continuing my education.
Yeah.
So going back multiple times with the patients that my husband has, I was able to accomplish that to the highest level, finally achieving even my law degree through all of that. But through the movement and growth of the healthcare system, just jumping in and saying, certainly I can learn that, and then complementing that with higher education skills really afforded me the opportunity to really engage. But I always believed I was a good listener and a good communicator, and I think that helped me tremendously in my career path, but so profoundly privileged to be in the same organization for 42 years and seeing our facilities grow and advance, and many individuals come and go, and I'll be one of them now.
Yeah.
Shortly, but certainly knowing that we have such a strong healthcare community with Powers Health, and just really proud of it, but privileged and humbled to be part of it.
That's a great way to put it. And I see sometimes the post or summary will come out of the number of people that have had legacy of service recognition
Yes.
that are 20, 25, 30 years. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah. It's
It's
stepping
unique.
back. It is
unique that you could do it
Yeah.
in that challenging an environment, and I think that speaks to the culture.
Yeah, I never really believed in the status quo, and I still don't, that there's always room for improvement. We've talked about a lifelong learning journey, and that's what it's been for me. Even in a CEO role now, like you commented, we're surrounded by change continuously, and it's being nimble, open-minded, and moving with the change, and you'll come out on the right side.
Yeah, because ultimately your heart's in the right place, and
Yes.
guidance, if you constantly adjust, will get you there.
Yes, absolutely.
Throughout your career, you've worked with a gazillion different organizations in the region. You couldn't possibly list them all, but talk about a couple that really just grabbed your heart.
Sure. I've been involved with many, and it's very difficult to name a few. And I think when I've been engaged on a board level, or whether participating in the community, I step back and think, wow, we're all linked together in essence, and we all find a way in our path to help each other. For me, more recently, I'm highly engaged with Catholic Charities in the Diocese of Gary. Very near and dear to my heart, and kind of an organization that works in the background, but helping so many thousands of individuals with assistance, the food pantry, and really a mission of they never say no. So more like myself, we will figure it out. We'll figure out how to find the dollars, get the support in the community. But then it links back to some Legacy Foundation, the Anderson Foundation, Porter County Community Foundation. We couldn't really function with the other organizations and activity without a lot of their support. So I've been more engaged from that side of the fence, understanding how they really assess where is the most need in the community to foster those continued relationships. And then, I've participated on the other side, Lakeshore Public Media, and understanding, they're the only local radio and TV station in Northwest Indiana, continuing to bring that local news, local flavor to what's happening here, and part of NPR and PBS, which has been a challenge also more recently, but understanding that they're also the voice to the community of many of the other activities that the other organizations are supporting. So I stand back now and look at, wow, we really are all connected, linked together, and supporting each other, especially in our local community.
The Legacy Foundation has recently got a bunch of those media folks together in a room, talking about how to support all kinds of media. And the biggest thing I gave them kudos for is there's 20 of us and we were all in the room together. And they were like, well, I hope this was okay. And I'm like, okay, you got 20 people that are serving this region in some capacity, big, large, and or big, small, and everything in between. And you brought them together in a room. Nobody's ever done that. So that's a heck of an accomplishment itself.
Absolutely. So, I also really engage with our team and staff to encourage them. One of the other organizations is Meals on Wheels. We've recognized through working with the university, IU School of Medicine, that as we all would know indirectly, food insecurity is a challenge in our area, and they have been phenomenally helpful with grant funding for us to provide meals to individual patients as they're even discharged from the hospital, so they can stay healthy and at home. On discharge, and realizing how all of those pieces are connected to promoting healthy living in Northwest Indiana, and how do we contribute as an organization. So I believe that because we're a central hub, we're one of the largest employers always in the communities that we service, how do we continue to embed ourselves in the community in that matter to understand what's happening, and how do we assist in any way that we can.
And I think that's the common thread with the organizations that you're talking about, is they all say, we're trying to serve in this way, but we want to work with all the others that are serving. And same thing, get all the people in a room. They're mostly not really competitors. They're mostly just people that also want good for whatever is happening. And more often than not, they're nice people.
Absolutely. When you think about it, as a hospital, as our mission, as a not-for-profit, we want to certainly sustain our success over many years to serve the community. And with that comes these strategies that means also we have to grow. But we also have to understand, we do our community health needs assessment every 3 years as an organization, as Powers Health overall, but it does help us to focus on significant areas of concern. We have a phenomenal cancer care program that's continuing to grow. We just opened a new site under Powers Health in the Crown Point region. And all of us as individual hospitals help to support that through our physician growth, going into outreach programs to do public screenings, feeding that. We also have a phenomenal neuroscience program for the healthcare system, and St. Mary's role there is we're a primary stroke center, but community hospital is a comprehensive stroke center. And the reason for that is to really try to enhance the technology and advancements on a local level so patients don't have to travel outside of the area. So we're kind of a hub and spoke model overall as Powers Health, but certainly feel St. Mary Medical Center continues to grow into the communities that have a need. And Valparaiso here is one of them, but Chesterton, Portage, we're kind of the eastbound service area for our healthcare system. And being in the community constantly really helps us to recognize where are the needs, where are the programs we need to develop. We've been part of the Valpo Y for many, many years here in the community, and also continuing those outreach programs. We worked with Porter County, the county overall, the health department for pre-diabetes screening. It was another grassroots program to really help identify, but it's all meant to improve the health and wellness in the community.
It's all got one goal. Let's have us all be healthy and
Yes,
live
that's
happily
right.
for as long as
That's
we possibly
right.
can.
I mean, we're a hospital, but we're also interested in keeping people outside the hospital and healthy for their life.
When you think about Powers, the legacy that they've built, the legacy that you helped build at the hospital, when you think about that whole organization, what are you the proudest of? What gives you confidence in the future?
Wow.
Maybe those are two different questions.
Yes, but that takes me way back myself. Worked in the organization when Mr. Powers was still alive, who really planted that seed and had that mission and vision. And from the time that community hospital was built, really believed, we're here to service the community. And he was definitely just do it individual, right? Just put your bootstraps on and get going.
From what I understand, there was a will about him.
Yes, and just phenomenal family, so intertwined in the community. And maybe for us in leadership, understanding that, at least I'm a believer in that, I live in the community. Yeah. And we think that's really important from a leadership standpoint, because we get to know the communities we serve. We also get to learn how well we're doing things, what we need to improve upon, just by being in the community.
Yeah, the community's never shy of sharing their opinions, my guess.
Sharing their opinions, but I think...
keeps you grounded.
Yes, Donna and Frankie, and maybe that's the appropriate word, not only a family, but also a full legacy of staying grounded. And it's because we're part of the community, so... We don't live in a silo. We don't work in a silo, and understanding where those needs are, but certainly what our significant role is to support that community. So I'm a firm believer, and I know our leadership team is also feeling that we're a part of the economic engine in Northwest Indiana. So it really also encourages us to bring that technology locally here to the area. And I mentioned that before, thereby recruiting some of the very best skilled physicians to continue to grow. We don't want individuals to have to always feel the need to locate outside the community for their health care. Sometimes there is a definite need based on the patient's condition, but certainly we're a large enough community that we should be able to support and foster that continued growth. And sometimes it's in small ways. It's opening a new physician office. Sometimes it's in grand buildings that need to be developed to bring all those services under one roof. But still the core of that is we are a community, not-for-profit healthcare system.
And we're going to stick to what we're known for and what our values are.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
If you wanted, this one isn't on the script. If you wanted to just tell the people at Powers that you've been working with, if you just had it, if they were all sitting in the room right here with you, what would you tell them?
Oh God, then I get so tearful. I kind of be emotional at heart, but I think I would tell them to don't accept the status quo, keep moving, really applaud the phenomenal work we're doing, providing great service to the community, but also high quality care. And don't forget what we're here for. It is to service the people in the community, to stay engaged, embed yourself in the community, and really continue the great work that you're all doing and have done. And again, for me, knowing that we have a bright future. We have a new CEO coming, Leo Correa, who's been part of the system for almost a decade now. Progress will continue, but stay on board and I guess one of the things I always talk to our team about, and I'll continue to think about that every time I see activity in the system, is keep us all rowing in the same direction with the same purpose and goals, fulfilling our mission as a healthcare system, and we will all succeed. I still think healthcare is an extremely rewarding career, and you all have shown that every day with all the patients you are taking care of, and we'll continue to share with you the great stories that we hear from the community about the care you continue to provide.
That is about as good a way I think you could ever sum it up as is possible.
Yeah.
I am honored to have been there at a point, and I'm very honored to be here at this point and help you sort of tell that story. But man, 42 years applying the same care and discipline and learning, and that's probably the biggest theme out of this is constantly learning.
Yep.
And thank you. Thank you very much for sharing all that you've done through those years, but also thanks for sharing your story. And I think it inspires others that could do the same.
It's been a privilege and honor for me for my second time to not only be here, but to be able to speak to our team and the community. Again, I think Northwest Indiana overall has a very bright future. Healthcare-wise,
Go Bears.
Let's be really hopeful. We also you got through the South Shore project, which is a great advancement for the community. So we feel in healthcare, at least I feel that way, like I'm one small cog in that entire wheel, but really proud to be part of the community in Northwest Indiana, and hope I can continue to contribute, but in different ways.
Well, now you got that train going strong, and it'll pull all those Bear fans right into Hammond.
That's right.
They'll get off. We'll all go to the game, and we can celebrate.
Exactly. But
Thank you a ton for sharing. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you.